It's your girl, J.Belle.
On Albuquerque's #1 hit music station, 93.3 The Q.
How you doing, Oliver?
Hey, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to interview with you today. My name is J.Belle from 93.3 The Q. Our listeners love your song because we play it every hour. They're really in love with your song. And
Wow.
I love your song too. It's something more upbeat, something more that we need more of right now, because a lot of songs right now are very slow and melodic, So it's interesting how you take the turn to kind of like a breakup song and make it more upbeat versus what's out there right now. So
You said every hour you guys play this?
every hour, if not every hour, every other hour.
Thank you so much. I'm honored.
You're welcome. We love it. We love it here. And the listeners love it. They love it. They request it, all that good stuff. Okay.
Amazing.
So I got 10 minutes with you. So we're going to slide through this a little bit. So I want to get through the first thing first, because we just come off the Grammys recently, and there was a lot of controversy in who won Album of the Year. So I'm going to ask you as a musician, who do you believe really should have won Album of the Year?
That's an obvious question, and I know a lot of people are thinking the same here. Last year, I released the greatest country album ever made, Cowboy Tears. And for me, the fact that it not only didn't win, but it also somehow, and I don't know how this happened, didn't even get a nomination. You shouldn't be asking me because obviously I'm somewhat biased, but this album is the greatest album ever made, and especially in the country space. So, I'm not going to say too much more, but I feel like there was a major upset. The fact that Cowboy Tears didn't win, let alone wasn't even nominated. I don't really want to speak more than that, but yeah, it's been a hard week.
That's disappointing, because you know what? I feel the same way, that maybe you should have been nominated in that category too. Cowboy Tears. Miss You Alone should have been, recognized at least Song of the Year.
Not even on the dance. Radar. I didn't even get close to any. It's been a hard week for me, and I actually prefer to not talk about the Grammys anymore because it's been a bit heartbreaking, and I know that this thing is rigged. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. So we won't talk about the Grammys anymore, but what we will talk about is the haircut, because I love it. I want to understand what made you want to do the haircut. So
it's the bowl cut mullet. So okay. Bowl cut on the front, party in the back, 360 party. So for me, it was an obvious evolution. I had the bowl cut for 5 years. I felt stuck. I felt trapped. I think changing my look for me was such a refreshing thing, because it starts to feel like Groundhog Day. It starts to feel like, you're kind of trapped. And I think guys don't change up as much. Like girls, they'll break up with their boyfriend and be like, I'm a bad bitch, and they'll dye their hair and change up everything. And guys are like, oh yeah, I have the same haircut from middle school, And so for me, I felt like it was time for me to have a change. And when I did that, I felt such a refreshing, breath of fresh air, and feel good about it. It's so much that I even kept the hair an extra year.
Well, I love it. I love the haircut, because I was watching it, I was like, wait, what makes someone want to do that, to their hair? But I get it. I understand it. You want to change. I do the same thing all the time too, which makes me want to bring up my next question. You don't have to show the tattoo, but I was watching the video where you and KSI went because you lost a bet to him, and you had to get the tattoo fart across your forehead. What was the bet?
I really don't like to talk about this. The whole situation is honestly, it's a bit upsetting because I did have to get the word fart tattooed on my forehead. It was really whatever he wanted to. The bet was the winner got to choose the other one's tattoo. And it was over a stupid bet. I flew to London to work with him on a music video, and I came right at the time he was doing a premiere fight. And I went to the fight, and I thought that there was no way in hell that he could win, and I was wrong. He actually knocked the guy out in the first, 10 to 15 seconds. But I will say that was rigged as well. I would say the situation is him and his manager own the entire boxing league, and so that just doesn't sit right with me. And I'm actually looking into trying to prove the fact that KSI and his manager have been rigging events for the last 4 years, and that's another conversation. That's a whole other can of worms. Can't really get into, but me and my lawyer Jeremiah Jeffrey are looking very closely into this.
I am dying at this. Okay, because I also saw that KSI's mom had a little beef with you too, because you had that sign.
Yeah, so she was not having it.
Yeah. Okay. So
But
let's
yeah, I
get
held up the sign that said KSI has a massive forehead. And yeah, his mom was standing right next to me. And I didn't know who she was. I didn't know it was her, but she kind of ripped on my sign. I said, lady, get out of here. What are you doing? And turns out it was his mom. And she actually said to me, I never disclosed this, but she said, that's my forehead too, you know? And so I think that's what really upset her, because she has a really big forehead as well.
I am dying. You're gonna talk about people's foreheads. Oh my God.
I mean, I have a really small forehead, so it's a different issue on the other end of the spectrum. I have a very short forehead.
I have a big forehead too. It's just covered by the hair. So I feel KSI and his mom on that. Okay. But let's get into the song Miss You a little bit. Now I was watching the video and I love the video because number one, it had a concept. And a lot of videos don't have concepts anymore. They kind of just throw in a bunch of video girls, some cars, and they dance. But it was also entertaining. So talk about the video a little bit. And I want to know about the suit, because the suit was the star of the video to me.
Wow. Well, I'm going to take that as a compliment, but I'm also taking that as disrespect because I was also in the video. But I will say the suit was actually made in Ukraine. I filmed a music video about 3.5 years ago in Ukraine, and I had the suit made for that. And so I've been holding on to it. And that video was kind of just thrown together within a couple of days. I wrote it and directed it, but I wrote the video I was in Mexico at the time. It was like, I played this festival ACL in Austin, and it was a 2-weekend festival. So like during the first weekend when I flew there, the song started to move on TikTok. And then through that week, it just started going insane to the point where I was like, all right, the labels said, hey, you got to film a music video for this. So I was supposed to be on my one vacation of the year, but of course I just ended up filming TikToks and writing a music video the entire time. Didn't have a single day off. But what I did was I wrote the most fast, efficient video I could write that could be turned around within a week's time. And so by the time I played the second weekend at ACL, the following weekend, it was crazy because it was like within 1 week, your life could entirely change. And then the next day I flew home, and the day after that, I filmed the video. And by the time I had filmed the video, the night of the shooting of the video, I had already edited the music video together, and then I just did some tweaks on VFX and just some coloring. But yeah, it was a labor of love. Try to come up with the most creative way. The video essentially is about a guy who's, quits his job and goes crazy at his office and just starts destroying everything. And then he takes over a kid's soccer game and upsets the parents, and the kids are all chasing him. And then he goes to the liquor store, and he starts like destroying everything and scaring old ladies. And then he robs the liquor store. The police come. And if you watch the beginning of the video, I'm dancing on top of a police car doing what's one of the biggest dance trends in the world right now. It's the cop car shuffle that's sweeping the nation. And I was dancing on the cop car. And then that shot is actually really towards the end of the video. It's out of order in chronological order. It's like kind of starts with the ending, but then you see me get taken away. Or this character. I'm just playing a character. Obviously, that's not real life documentary footage.
Well, it was great. And you were great in the video too. So I don't want you to take it as disrespect.
Oh, stop. You were getting paid to say that.
I really love the suit. And the one thing that stood out to me too, besides the suit, was the little kid at the soccer game that had the beard, the goatee.
Yeah, the goatee. That's my little brother.
Oh, okay. you got him to put on the goatee.
No, he has a goatee too. My whole family does. And yeah, so it's a gene that's in. My mom has a goatee as well. But basically, yeah, he's a crazy little dude. I was like, might as well just put him in the video. And yeah, I think he's a good casting choice, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, it's a good video. Well, let's talk about Valentine's Day, Lucas, because I'm getting. Oh, I think I just turned myself off. Please don't leave me. There's an accident. Okay, there we go. So I'm getting a 2-minute warning. So I want to ask, with Valentine's Day around the corner, if one was to try to get their ex back, something I would never do, but you never know with other people, how would they incorporate, or how should they incorporate the song Miss You into this?
Right. I would say the song is great for many things. Getting your ex back is not one of them. I would say the song is kind of the opposite of that narrative, which is probably to never see your ex again. At the core of it. But, let's just say you were trying to get your ex back and you had to, by theory, play the song. I mean, there's a couple different ways it could go down. I'm thinking about you're trying to get your ex back. I mean, you could go the route of, I think Kanye West got Kim Kardashian something like a truck full of roses, something an extreme gift, but I don't know if that's really the right route to do it. I don't know how efficient that is in the long term. You really want someone back, I think you need to share how you feel and see how it's reciprocated. And if they don't, then it's time for you to move the F on. But if you're playing the song, you could drive by with your friends and toilet paper her house.
Wait a minute, that went opposite left. Okay, last question. Top 5 breakup songs of all time.
I mean, I don't know if you know this, but I don't listen to music, so I only know my own material. And I would say, basically, I stopped listening to music like 8 years ago. I used to listen to music when I was in middle school, but I don't have Apple Music, Spotify. I don't have iTunes. I don't listen to music at all. I only listen to the new music that I'm making. And so essentially, number 1 breakup song would be Miss You. I would say the next 4 songs will be taken off my deluxe album, Cowboy Tears Drown the World in a Swimming Pool of Sorrow, that came out right around Christmas time this year. And that song is a breakup album, breakup anthems left and right. But yeah, most people didn't see it. I kind of released it under the radar because I was really just focused on Miss You. That's my summer jam, and I'm getting ready for summer 2024. So I'm excited. I'm going to be listening to that song. And we're trying to make the world's most remixes of Miss You. So it's pretty exciting right now. We have 47 remixes of the song. We're trying to break the 132 that's on a Madonna song. And we're trying to break that record. We should be reaching it by at least this time next year.
Wow. And then you're using TikTok a lot to do that, right? Because I noticed you do a lot of stuff on social media that really helps you broaden the song up. And TikTok is a big way for music these days. So is that the way you're using it, or you just gonna?
Yeah, and by using it to get things like fart tattooed on my forehead. But yeah, social media is king these days, and you have to figure out creative ways to get your art and your music in front of people. Otherwise, it will be completely forgotten about in the abyss of oversaturation in the marketplace, which is art, and not to put it in such a black and white type of situation. But yeah, this is a competition to get people to see your art. Otherwise, it'll just be slept on. And I worked 10 years. No one cared about my art. And now I'm finding different creative ways to get it in front of people.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Oliver. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me. I love your whole everything. You're
Thank
cool. You're awesome. I hope to hear more music from you coming down the line, especially here in Albuquerque, because like I said, they love you a lot. And come to visit.
Let me just say this. I love Albuquerque. I used to go there every summer on vacation. So I just want to say shout out to all my folks in Albuquerque, all the trees signing out. Love y'all.
They'll love that. Thank you, Oliver.